Hello friends, I am Professor Satish Prakash Shukla. I welcome you all again to this YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about 20 new MCQs which are based on research method with their answers. This is fifth video in English. Question number 81 to 100 with their answers are discussed in this. Before these four videos have already been uploaded in this channel. Hope you must have liked all. If you are having any query regarding the questions which are discussed in the videos, then you may write on in the comment box. Let us start. Question number 81. In which type of developmental research method there remains a maximum possibility of reduction in the number of subjects? Let us see the options. Number 1, longitudinal. Number 2, ideographic. Number 3, cross-sectional. Number 4, nomothetic. Friends, ideographic and nomothetic are the approaches of case study. So these two options are incorrect. And now remaining are two, longitudinal and cross-sectional. Friends, in longitudinal approach of developmental research, the sample is selected only once and the data are collected more than once from the same sample for after certain interval of time period. So there may be possibility of reduction in the number of subjects. So option number 1 is correct, longitudinal. And in cross-sectional method, the sample is selected only once and only once the data is collected. So there is no problem of reduction in the number of subjects. Question number 82. Which of the following researches will be called developmental type of research? Which of the following researches will be called developmental type of research? Friends, you remember in developmental research, the impact of the time period, passage of time is studied in developmental research method, impact on some particular variable characteristics due to change in the situation that is caused by the passage of time. Let us see. Number 1, study of intelligence level of the students of grade 1 to 10. Study of emotional maturity of the students of grade 10 only. Number 3, study of adjustment level of the students of grade 9 only. Number 4, 1, 2, and 3. Friends, out of these three problems, only the first problem is there where the impact of change in the situation due to passage of the time will be studied, can be studied. Option number 1, study of intelligence level of the students of grade 1 to 10. We know that there is vast difference between the age of the students studying in standard 1 and 10. So the intelligence level will be different at different age level. So the time period, the impact of time period will be studied in this problem, in this research, impact of time period on intelligence level. So option number 1 is correct. Which type of variable are included in the study that is conducted to check the effect of guidance program on the adjustment of the children of high socio-economic status? This is question number 83. Here we have to decide the types of variables which are included in this particular study. Here the study is to be done to know the impact of guidance program on the adjustment of the children. So it is experimental research. So and the children belong to only high socio-economic status. We have to keep this in mind. Now let us check the options. Number 1, independent, dependent, and intervening. Number 2, independent, dependent, and controlled variables. Dependent, controlled, and moderator variables. Independent, dependent, and moderator variables. See here, impact of guidance program is to be seen. So it is independent variable, treatment variable, guidance program, And on the adjustment, so it is dependent variable. Adjustment is dependent variable, so independent, dependent variable are there. And children of only high socioeconomic status are selected. So here the socioeconomic status is controlled. The impact of socioeconomic status is controlled. So this is control variable, socioeconomic status. In this way, we can say the option number 2 is correct. In this problem, independent, dependent, and controlled variables are there. Question 84. What do you mean by experiment? Let us see. To observe the effect of some factors on particular elements in a controlled situation. To observe the effect of some factors on particular elements in the presence of moderator variable. To observe the effect of some factors on particular elements in the presence of controlled variable. To observe the effect of some factors on particular elements in the presence of intervening variables. Friends, we have to define what is experiment. So it is simply we can say that it is an observation of the impact of some particular factor on some particular element or the factor or the attribute or characteristics in a controlled situation. That is very much important in terms of experiment. So option number 1 is correct, to observe the effect of some factors on particular elements in a controlled situation. Question number 85. What is the moderator variable known as that cannot be controlled and ignored during experiment? Friends, what is moderator variable? Moderator variable is the variable that may affect the cause and effect relationship between independent and dependent variable. If this type of the moderator is taken care or considered during the experiment, then it will be called moderator variable. And if you don't want to see the impact of such variable, then we have to control it. If we can't control it, then we have to ignore it. But when it is not controlled or it is ignored, then their effect is seen on the cause and effect relationship between independent and dependent variable. Then if this situation is there, then what the moderator variable will be called if it is ignored. Let us see number 1 secondary, number 2 uncontrolled, number 3 intervening, number 4 independent. Friends, moderator variable itself is known as secondary variable. Here, option number 3 is correct. If the moderator variable cannot be controlled, and if it is not controlled, then and it is ignored, then it is called intervening variable. Question number 86. Which will be the controlled variable in the study of the impact of guidance program on the adjustment of housewives, non-working women residing in rural area? See, here we have to find the control variable. The study is to be conducted to know the impact of guidance program on the adjustment of housewives residing in rural area. So this is experimental study. Guidance program is treatment variable, or we can say independent variable. Adjustment is dependent variable, and we have to find the controlled variable. Let us see. Uh, Area number 1, number 2 housewives, number 3 guidance program, number 4 mental health. Friends, here the housewives of only rural area are selected for the study. So here area is controlled. The impact of area is not seen in this particular experiment. So only from the rural area the women are selected. So area is controlled variable. Question number 87. What is false in the context of controlled variable in experimental research? In terms of control variable, what is false in experimental research that we have to see? Number 1, some variables are controlled with a view to making the experimental research reliable. Yes, in experimental research, we have to check the clear and precise impact of independent variable on dependent variable. So it is done to make the experimental research more reliable. Number two, control variable has some characteristics of moderator variable. Yes, only the moderator variable is controlled, so it has the characteristics of moderator variable. By eradicating the effect of moderator variable, it becomes control variable. If the impact of moderator variable is eliminated, then only it will become controlled variable. It is also true. Number four, any variable that does not have cause and effect relationship with dependent variable can be controlled. If any variable is there that has no any relation with cause and effect relationship of dependent variable, then there is no need to control that variable. So option number four is correct in terms of this question. Any variable that does not have cause and effect relationship with dependent variable can be controlled. This is false in terms of the question given here. So option 4 is correct. Question number 88. If external variables are not controlled in experimental research, then which statistical techniques should be applied for data analysis? If external variables or extraneous variables are not controlled and experiment is conducted, then which type of the statistical technique should be used so that the reliable findings can be derived? Let us see the options: analysis of variance, analysis of covariance, chi-square, and t-test. So the best thing is to derive the reliable findings in the given situation. Analysis of covariance is used for statistical analysis. Option number 2, analysis of covariance and COVA. Question number 89. If an experimental design fails to check the effect of independent variable on dependent variable precisely, then which type of the validity of the experimental research is imperiled? Let us see: external, internal, contemporary, and alternate. Friends, uh, internal validity is the ability of any experiment to measure the clear and precise impact of independent variable on dependent variable, and in a given situation it is said that the impact of independent variable on dependent variable cannot be checked precisely in the given situation, because here it is said that this design fails to check the effect of independent variable on dependent variable precisely, then it means internal validity will be endangered, imperiled. Option number 2 is correct. Question number 90. What the effort of the subjects of control group is known as, that is made by them beyond their capacity to perform well in experimental research. Here the subjects of control group are performing well beyond their capacity. They try to make the effort that is beyond their capacity. What this effect is known? Uh, Friends, let us see the option: Hawthorne effect, placebo effect, John Henry effect, and experimental effect. If the subjects of control group tries to uh, make effort to perform well beyond their capacity, then it is called John Henry effect. And this process is called John Henryism. John Henry was one laborer. Once the competition was made between him and the machine, and to be winner, John Henry has made effort beyond his capacity and won the competition. Since then, it is called John Henry effect. Question number 91. Which of the following factors affect external validity of experimental design? Friends, external validity refers to the ability of experiment of generalization of findings. Let us see which are the factors that may affect the external validity. Number one, experimenter's bias. novelty and disruption effect. Number three, John Henry effect that we have seen. It is internal. It affects the internal validity. Placebo effect and Hawthorne effect. Let us see the option. These are the options. So the factors that may affect the external validity are number one, novelty and disruption effect. Number two, placebo effect. And number five, Hawthorne effect. So option number four is correct. Statement number two, factors number two, four, and five. Novelty and disruption of effect, placebo effect, Hawthorne effect. These three are the factors that may affect, out of the given factors, that may affect the external validity of the experimental design. Question number 92. Which of the following is not a pre-experimental design? Not a pre-experimental design. One group case study design, it is pre-experimental. One group pre-test, post-test design. If single group is there, then it is always pre-experimental design. So these two are pre-experimental design. Number three, two randomized groups post-test design. If randomized groups are there, then it is true experimental design. So number three is correct option for this question. Number four, two groups static design. Static design is there. Two groups are there. No randomization is there. So it is pre-experimental design. In terms of this question, the correct option is two randomized groups post. Question number 93. Which experimental design gives the most reliable result out of two randomized groups, pre-test, post-test design, single group, pre-test, post-test design, and two groups static design? Out of these three, which design will give the more reliable result? Let us see the options. Number one, two randomized groups pre-test post-test design. All three designs give the same result. This is option number two. Option number three, single group pre-test post-test design. Option number four, two group static design. Friends, earlier we have seen that single group pre-test post-test design and two group static design are pre-experimental design. And the design that is given in option number one, to randomize groups pre-test post-test design, is through experimental design. So we can say out of the given three designs, two randomized groups pre-test post-test design will give more reliable result. So option number one is correct. Question number 94. What is true in the context of two group static design of experimental research? Two group static design. It is pre-experimental. What is true? Let us see. Two groups are made equivalent. It is not done in pre-experimental design. Both groups are selected randomly. It is also not done in pre-experimental design, two groups static design. Both the groups are selected in their original and natural form. Yes, it is true. The groups are selected which are formed naturally. So they are selected in original form. Number four, both groups are given the same treatment. It is also unfair. So option number three is correct. Both the groups are selected in their original and natural form in terms of two groups static design of Question number 95. What of the following is done in two randomized groups only post-test design? To randomized groups only post-test design. What is done? Let us see. Number one, subjects of the sample are selected randomly from the population. It is true. Subjects of the sample are divided in two groups randomly. It is also true. Experimental and control groups are decided randomly out of two groups. It is also correct. And option 4 is 1, 2, and 3. So it is obvious that option 4 is correct in terms of this question. Option 4 is correct. 96. What is true in the context of two groups matching pair, only post-test design? What is true? Let us see. Two groups are made randomly. It is false because matching pair design is there. Pairs of the subjects are made on the basis of the measurement of dependent variable under study. It is also false. Two groups matched pair, only post-test design is there. Pairs of the subjects are made on the basis of the measurement of moderator variable that has good correlation with dependent variable. It is true. Let us see fourth. Pairs are made on the basis of the control variable. It is false. Actually, the pairs are made on the basis of the performance of the subjects in the test that is related with a moderator variable that has good correlation with the dependent variable. On the basis of that, the pairs are made. So option number 3 is correct. 97 question number. How many independent variables are there in 3 by 2 factorial design? 3 by 2 factorial design. How many independent variables are there? The option is 1 is 5, number 2 is 2, number 3 is 6, number 4 is 1. Friends, here actually two independent variables are there. First independent variables has 3 levels and second independent variable has 2 levels. That's why it is called 3 by 2. So two independent variables are there. Option 2 is correct. Question number 98. Which of the following is not a quasi-experimental design? Quasi-experimental design. Which of these is not a quasi-experimental design? Non-randomized control group, pre-test, post-test design, it is quasi-experimental. Counterbalance design, it is also quasi-experimental. Single group time series design, it is also quasi-experimental design. Single group only post-test design that we have seen, it is pre-experimental design. It is not quasi-experimental design. So number 4 is correct option for this question. Question number 99. In which design limitation of statistical regression cannot be avoided? Friends, statistical regression refers to the change in the performance of the subjects if they are measured twice and more for the same characteristics, in terms of the same characteristics. If the change is seen in the performance of the same subject, if they are measured twice, then it is called statistical regression, and there is no logic without any reason this change is found. It happens. It is called statistical regression. Let us see in which design limitation of statistical regression cannot be avoided. Number one, counterbalance design. Here it cannot be avoided because here twice or more than 2 times the test is conducted. Two groups pre-test, post-test design. Here twice the test is conducted. So statistical regression may be there. Two groups only post-test design. Here it can be avoided because only once the test is conducted. And number 4, A and B. So out of given option, we can say number 4 option is correct. A and B, in both the cases, the statistical regression cannot be avoided. Now, question number 100 and the last of this video. Which type of validity of an experimental design is endangered due to statistical regression? Oh, which type of the validity of experimental design is endangered? Internal, external, A and B, none. Friends, when statistical regression will be there, then we can't measure the clear and precise impact of IV on DV. So internal validity of experimental design cannot be maintained. Now, friends, here video number 5 gets over. 6 will be uploaded shortly. Till then, continue reading supplementary material. Goodbye. Thank you. We'll meet soon.